Today we're going to be making Italian beef using Tone's Italian beef seasoning, only they call it Italian seasoning. And this is the best stuff I found doing a lot of research. We're going to be doing this in our rice maker. Rice maker hits a good temperature for a couple hours and it seals up real nice. Here's a look of it from the inside. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of butter. We're going to take 2 tablespoons, cut them up, throw them in the bottom. And we're going to be using them as they melt. And we're going to take our Tones and we're going to throw in approximately, well, we were talking about an 1/8 cup. An 1/8 cup is really 2 tablespoons. So take 1 tablespoon here, scoop it on out. Looks pretty good, and throw it in with the melted butter sitting in there. I like using 2 tablespoons. In fact, I use actually a little bit more. And when you put the 2 of them in there, you kind of see them melt in with the butter, and they start bubbling and becoming, all happy. While these 2 are happening, going as this, we're going to take our beef. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going to go take our beef. We got it from Costco. We got 2.5 pounds. Notice only $6.50 a pound for a beautiful choice. And we're going to be using the chuck. I think chuck is a better cut of meat. None of that round stuff. It's just kind of bland and boring. And it's a beautiful looking piece. You can see the eye of the round in there. Follow the natural cuts of the meat. You can just see how it wants to separate into about 5 pieces. Use your sharp knife, and that's what it looks like after you kind of cut it apart, following the natural lines, the natural breaks. And this is how a chuck breaks up. You're also going to keep those little pieces of fat and throw them in for flavor. And by now, we told it 4 hours, and it's already up to 3.5. We add in our meat with all those seasoning that's been busy with the butter. We move it around with our fingers, and it's all covered all over the pieces of meat. Voila, this is about 2.5 hours later. We're checking on it. Looks absolutely beautiful, covered in its own juices. Don't need to add any other fluids. We extract it, take it out, put it into a Lexan container. They work great for overnight storage. They'll keep your food fresher than anything I know. Take one look with the meat thermometer, cooking in a little under 200 degrees. As long as we're under over 165, salmonella don't live here no more. Okay, this is an example of what it looks like, making a quick sandwich off of some warm meat. Absolutely beautiful. And again, this is the star of the show, the Tones Italian spaghetti, which is really the Italian beef mix. And we start out with our Italian bread. Italian bread from Costco. We're not using great big chunks of bread from the sandwiches because we're just kind of staying away from white bread nowadays. So we're going to cut ourselves a couple of thin strips. Absolutely beautiful. And you're using a nice bread knife to get that cut, and we're kind of showing you how it looks. It's a nice long slice, and it's not all that thick. We're going to take this nice long piece. We're going to layer out. You could do it with 2 pieces, and we're using a lot less bread. We're going to put it into the air fryer for just a minute or so. Let it crispy up a little bit. Take her out. Add a little tiny bit of mayonnaise. Little tiny bit. As Alton Brown once said, it acts kind of like saran wrap, keeps the juices from flowing into the bread. So we take that little tiny bit of mayonnaise, we spread it across the whole piece nice and evenly. And then we're going to go for our next ingredient. There we go. Bread looks absolutely ready to go. Not that much mayonnaise at all. We take our giardiniera. Your Italian beef is generally sweet or spicy. Giardiniera is the way to go. I take the little whip stick and I chop it up real small to make a paste kind of out of it. And you take a nice spoon, you spread it across, and you're going to spread it nice and evenly. We don't want too much. There is a lot of olive oil in there. And we spread it across the piece of bread. You can see how it looks. But, we need a little more than 1 spoon, so we go grab another 1/2 spoon. And we kind of spread it across the piece of bread nice and evenly. So that way every bite you're getting good giardiniera. You're getting a good little bite of heat. From here, we're going to go and get our piece of meat. We're going to layer out. And, oh, does that look beautiful? You can just eat that just the way it is. Okay, now for the cheese, you could be using a standard mozzarella. They had this Dubliner on sale at Costco for about $7-8 a chunk. These are the guys, Kerry Gold, who make that wonderful butter. We use our gratin knife. I call that the Rachel Ray, because she's always using the one with the little gratins on it. Cut off 2 nice, 1/8-inch pieces of cheese. cut them both off, and they are just laying there. You can see that they're a good size. They're going to fit nicely. And you don't want to overdo the cheese. You could if you want. And then there's our meat that we're pulling from the fridge overnight. You can see all the fat is kind of separated off to the top, and we're going to pull off one nice piece of meat here. Doesn't matter which one, they're all going to be great. We lay it on the cutting board, and you kind of look at it. You can see the fat, a little bit of it still holding on the side, but you can see how beautifully the outsides are cooked up. You look at the piece of meat carefully, you can see which way the grain of the meat is going. That's what you want to be following. The grain of the meat, you want to cut across from it. In fact, I'm kind of laying the knife so you can see the direction it's going to cut. And as you look at the piece of meat, you can see the grains, and that's what you're going to be cutting across. As you cut into the slices, they're absolutely beautiful. No graying on the edges. Nice and dark. The insides are absolutely beautiful. And you cut off, I'd say it's about 5-6 slices, and we're going to put the rest away. We lay out the slices nice and evenly across the bread with the giardiniera, and you see how it's all coming together. 1 slice, 2 slice, there's 3 slice, and we got a 4th slice. There we go, and there's our 5th slice. Looks absolutely beautiful. You could eat it just like this. We're now going to take that Dubliner cheese. We're going to take the 2 pieces, lay them across the top. There's 1. Here comes the other piece of cheese. Oh, this looks even better now. This is now going to go over to the, well, this is what it looks like in the, with the meat. You can see all the fat in there. You can see I scraped aside a little of that fat. You can keep it, use it, and there's a lot of great juices under there for other uses. Okay, we'll talk about that. There's the cheese on top of the meat. The meat's going to go into the air fryer, which you're going to set. I set it for a nice high temperature like you're grilling, so it melts from the top, but I don't go very long. And those juices, you could take those juices, reheat them, take a bell pepper, throw it back into the rice maker, and just cook the green pepper for about a couple minutes. It'll soften up nicely, and that's how you make your sweet peppers. There's the seasoning again, the star of the show. You can see how much we used up to make this entire piece of meat. And this is about after 2 minutes of the cheese getting hit from on top. And this is 4 minutes. Everything is looking beautiful. The meat is plenty hot now. This is about 6 minutes. And you can see that the cheese is starting to bubble. That's what you kind of want. You want the cheese to start bubbling and turning a tiny bit of brown. If you go a little more brown, then the meat underneath will get a little overcooked. You take that gratin knife and you cut it on a bias. That's going to give you beautiful points. Just one nice slice right through, and it'll separate the sandwich. You see those points? That's what you're just aching to bite right into. Those points are just fantastic, and that's the way to eat it. Don't cut it halfway down the middle. Okay, it's absolutely looking great. Now we're going to put a garnish on top. We have some leftover green pepper, not green pepper, the green onion from when we made some, and it's looking absolutely terrific. We take a bite out of the end. Tastes absolutely terrific. Cut, go back. Well, thanks for watching. It's been a lot of fun making some Italian beef in a rice maker using the right ingredients. Turned out absolutely fabulous. Thank you very much. Wish you a great day. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.